guys, welcome back to the Crime Tide podcast. I'm Noah.
Hey.
Hi.
So today we're going to be talking about the murder of John Lennon. Last week we talked about John Benet Ramsey, whose murder is still unsolved to this day. This episode is going to be a little bit different because John Lennon's murder is very definitive and we know how he died. There's a little bit of mystery towards the end, but that's a surprise for later.
Ooh.
Okay. So a little bit about John Lennon. So he was one of the founders of the Beatles. You probably know who he is. He was kind of a big deal. So his early life, he was born in 1940 in Liverpool. That was a bad. I was trying to do like a half British accent. That didn't really work. So his parents were separated when he was 4, so he lived with his aunt. His father was never really present for him, which is very sad, but it doesn't really have to do with how he got murdered, so I'm going to move on. He was kind of a troublemaker. His headmaster at his school, which I guess is like a principal if you're British, thought that he would have to go... He thought that John Lennon should go to art school because he couldn't make good grades, which is like nothing wrong with art school, but that's kind of rude.
Wait, John Lennon is like the one with the glasses, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Sure.
Circle glass.
And he dated like Yoko Ono.
Yeah. That's him.
Okay.
All right. So now I want to tell you guys about the Beatles themselves as a group. So they were inspired by Elvis, who was like also a really big deal at the time, and you've definitely heard of Elvis because everybody knows who Elvis is. So the Beatles, though, they started with Paul McCartney and John Lennon. John Lennon met Paul McCartney at church, and they just like decided to start a band. And then a little bit down the road, they added the rest of the members, and they were very successful, put out a lot of big hits. Everybody loved them.
Do you have a favorite song?
Besides, like, I don't know. I like Yesterday. I like, Eleanor Rigby.
Ooh, I like Strawberry Fields Forever.
That's a good one. What about you, Elena? Or Danny?
Yellow Submarine. I like Hey
Classic.
Jude.
Oh, yeah.
I love those. Yellow Submarine kind of freaks me out, though. Yeah, so obviously, like, we all know about them, and they were before our time, so that is evidence they were a very, very big deal. So John Lennon he left the Beatles in 1969 because Brian Epstein, who was their manager, he accidentally overdosed 2 years prior, and it was just really hard for the Beatles to keep going. They had really bad management after that because, like, the manager died. And it was just going downhill. So John Lennon left and the Beatles ended up breaking up. So after that, John Lennon didn't stop making music. He released a solo album, Imagine, or he released many, but Imagine was one of the biggest hits. And it was very successful. So that is a little intro to the Beatles and John Lennon. So his death, on December 8th, 1980, he was shot by a deranged fan outside of his luxury apartment building in Manhattan.
Thank God.
Yeah, it's very sad.
I've seen that.
Visited.
Yeah, I've seen. Or we were both
Oh,
there.
yeah.
On the trip, on the New York
on the New York trip.
Yeah, we like drove by it.
Really?
Yeah, we
Wow.
saw like the door. Whatever where it
Mr.
happened.
Decker was like, John Lennon wasn't a very good person.
Oh really?
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Talking
what he
about,
has to
like,
say?
Why?
Because he, like, I think he was abusive to his wife.
Oh my god.
Oh. Maybe he wasn't
Or
a
he
good
cheated
person.
on her, something like that.
Oh.
Or, I think he had a wife before Yoko Ono, and he, like, broke up with her because of him.
Oh.
Because, yeah.
Oh.
And he had a son, too, and he left his son.
And he's like, isn't he like part of the reason why like the Beatles broke up?
Yeah.
Because like they didn't like Yoko Ono, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to my dad about it, actually, because my dad was like, it's more his time. And
Oh,
Yoko
it's
Ono...
like- sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're fine. Yoko Ono was one of the big reasons that they broke up.
Oh.
And it was like Paul McCartney wrote "Hey Jude," and John Lennon thought that Paul McCartney was singing about him, but he was actually singing about his son.
Oh.
Hey Jude, because John Lennon like left Jude with like his ex-wife.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that's what that was about. Well, thank you for that insight.
I thought Jude was like a woman.
Yeah, that's what I thought
That's a
too.
dude.
No, they
name.
changed.
It
Yeah,
is?
it's a dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it changed
I've never
his
heard
name. I
anybody
forgot his
named
name. It's like, is it like Julius, and then change it to Jude or something like that? I need to
Oh.
look it up.
Oh.
John Lennon's son.
Oh,
We're
Um,
all more educated today.
Oh yeah, it is Julian.
it is?
Oh.
Oh,
Interesting.
well, I didn't know that, and that makes sense. Okay. Well, yeah, he was shot by Mark David Chapman outside of his luxury apartment in Manhattan with a .38 caliber revolver. And when he died, he was just 40 years old, which is obviously very early to die. So very sad, and everybody was like very devastated by his death. He was a very big deal. A lot of people really liked him, with the exception of Mr. Decker, apparently. So sorry. So he began bleeding profusely, and he was rushed to the hospital, but he died on the way there. And Mark David Chapman, the murderer, he voluntarily stayed on the scene until he was arrested. So Mark David Chapman was born in 1955 in Fort Worth, Texas, because apparently, like, all the murders that we talk about now are born near us in Texas, which is great.
That's really cute.
I know. Like, we live in such a great state.
Uh-huh.
So Chapman experimented with drugs pretty early in his life. He tried to commit suicide at the age of 22 and then failed, obviously, and got married at 24. So quick turnaround there. And then he married John Lennon at 25.
He
So-
Married John.
No, sorry. He murdered John Lennon at 25.
Oh my god.
This is why we get criticism for laughing during our episodes. So he murdered John Lennon at 25 after he got married 1 year earlier. Yeah, so not a very long life without crime. So a little bit of like a timeline up until John Lennon's death. He purchased John Lennon's new album, Double Fantasy, and he waited outside his apartment building for him to sign the album. So when John Lennon was leaving his apartment, Chapman was like, "Hey, can you sign this for me?" And he was like, "Sure." So it was like generously signed it.
On the same day?
Yeah, on the same
Before he
day.
got murdered.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
right before he got murdered. He was just standing there with an album, signed it. And then the first weird thing that he did, besides like everything that's about to happen, is he like put the album, I think, in a nearby bush and just left it there.
What?
Which isn't usually what you do with a signed album.
Yeah.
Not like I have much experience with John Lennon's signature, but I'm pretty sure that's common knowledge. So when John Lennon returned, he got out of the, I think it was a limo or a car. He got out of his vehicle, and Chapman shot him 4 times. And very sad. But what the interesting part of this story is that all the different sources that I found have different quotes from him suggesting his motive. So a quote from him was, he said, "If he, Lennon, was less famous than 3 or 4 other people on the list, he would not have been shot." Which is also scary. Like, who was he planning to shoot as well? And who else could have died?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's creepy.
Yeah, it's really creepy. I really hate this guy.
Wait, he was a fan of John Lennon?
Yeah, he was a fan.
What?
But he was very mentally ill,
Uh-huh.
and ended up killing him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So other ideas about his motive are that he just wanted attention. So he killed like one of the most famous people in the world.
That's true. Like, we wouldn't know who he is, like, now if he hadn't done that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly. Like when I
Just
was
be a nobody.
when I was doing research on him, like he's all over the place. So if he really wanted attention, he got that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is sad. I saw like a Criminal Minds episode about something similar, and the guy like was promised attention, like media attention. Everybody would know who he was if he didn't kill his victim, and that's how they saved him.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's fiction, but
Well, it's like kind of the same with the Selena one. Like, no, probably people wouldn't know Yolanda as much if she hadn't done what she did. You know?
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, if you ever
Want to get famous?
if you're ever if you're starving for attention, there's other things that you can do besides killing a celebrity. You could actually. I'm
You
not gonna
could
throw
Very
shade.
valuable lesson.
Yeah.
Very valuable lesson. If anybody gets anything from listening to our podcast, don't kill people, please. Yeah. I was gonna throw shade, but I decided not to.
What?
Sorry. Placing it, time and a place. I'll come back to that when we're not recording.
Okay.
Um, so, another idea of what the motive was that Chapman was upset by Lennon's use of religious figures like God and Jesus. It's very popular today to like have portrayals of God, Jesus, and even the devil in songs and music videos. But some people think that Chapman killed Lennon because of his portrayal of God and Jesus, and now he wasn't taking it seriously.
Was
Oh.
Chapman like proven to be like really religious?
Yeah, I think he was at least partially like religious.
Oh.
But then there's also the whole religious thing, like don't kill people. So
Also,
Yeah.
don't commit suicide.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a balance there between and
And don't do drugs.
don't do drugs. Yeah.
Is that
so
in the Bible?
I
I have no idea. I'm not Christian.
don't.
but
Probably. I don't know.
yeah. So I think the final idea of why he killed Lennon was because he was jealous of Lennon. And that's a pretty popular idea because
Yeah, but like thousands of people would have been like jealous of him, like, oh, he's famous or whatever. I mean, like they're celebrities now, but like, I wouldn't say that we're like jealous of them. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean like I'm jealous of how other people live sometimes who
Yeah,
like have
but then like
billions of dollars and own Amazon, but
you wouldn't kill him just because you're like, oh,
Yeah.
You don't get anything out of killing him.
Yeah.
yeah, it's really sad that he was that mentally ill that he had to
yeah,
kill to get that
he got
Attention.
nothing.
Yeah. Well, he got his attention.
Notoriety.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some other points that are important are that he said that nobody could have stopped him, that nobody could have been like, hey, don't do this. Like, he was set on it and he was going to do it. Also, in prison, he was very well behaved, and they were thinking about giving him parole, but he did not express any remorse for what he did,
Oh.
which
Is he dead now? Probably, right?
no, I think he's still alive.
Oh, seriously?
Wait, well, he was born in 1955. He's like
Mark David
70
Chapman.
something.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, he's still alive. He's incarcerated at Wendy Correctional Facility.
Where is that?
He's scary.
Is that in
What?
Texas too?
You look at
Let's see.
Yeah, he doesn't look remorseful at all.
It's in Erie County, New York.
Oh, so actually not in Texas.
Well,
That's
yeah, I guess he was born here and then he was like,
Yeah.
He did the crime in New York, Manhattan.
And he's married.
He's
Yeah.
still married?
Yeah.
Not to John Lennon,
to
my
Gloria.
bad.
to Gloria Abe.
oh.
Wow.
This is
He's
what he
not very
looks
good
like.
looking.
That's your judgment of him? Not the fact that he like did a crime or anything, just that he's ugly?
He looks. I mean, he has the John Lennon like glasses. Isn't that the
yeah.
wait John?
No, his is like circle.
Oh yeah, never mind.
Well, yeah. So, what do you guys think the motive might have been?
I think all those motives kind of like I guess attention because the other ones are kind of dumb. Like
Yeah.
no, nothing's dumb, but like if he was jealous, like I don't know, like he would have had to be like extremely like mentally ill to like think that stuff or like I don't
Yeah.
know the religious figures thing. Like if he was like set on killing John Lennon and like he's like nobody could like persuade me not to.
Religious?
Yeah, like you would think like if he believed in God, then like God would be like, don't kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it had to be like a very extreme version like of all of these like maybe he had like some sort of conspiracy theory in his mind that like John Lennon was like trying to bring down Christianity something like that, you know? And then he
Yeah.
was like
Whole
yeah.
thing.
yeah,
Oh,
and he was
maybe.
like I have to like kill John Lennon to like to I don't know to help Christianity in some way, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And then also that gets his attention, and he was probably jealous of his fame also.
yeah.
So it's like all of it combined together.
Yeah, it makes sense that it could have been all of them, especially that there's quotes to support each one of them from him.
Yeah.
And Elena, you mentioned that like God says like don't kill, but also like it was a religious motive. I've like seen a lot of things like in the news a while ago. I think in 8th grade, my dad told me when I wasn't like keeping up with politics at all. There was like a group of pro-life people who shot up an abortion clinic because of the potential death of.
What?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
Same
so-
with a lot of pro-lifers don't wear masks, but like you would think you would wear a mask
Yeah.
to save lives. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
only care about the fetus.
Yeah. So, I don't know, like what they think, if they think that they're helping, if they don't think about it, but there's like a lot of hypocrisy. I'm obviously not saying that like all religious people are hypocrites. I would never say that. But
Because you are a religious person.
I am religious, but kind of. But
Okay.
like there a lot of times, like especially this guy probably didn't totally think through what was going on, considering how mentally ill he was.
Yeah.
With the whole like getting his autograph thing,
That's like
like it shows that John Lennon is like maybe he's like not a good person, but at least to his fans, like he was outside his apartment and he just signed the thing for him and you didn't get mad at him or anything.
Yeah.
So like you would think that he would like see that John Lennon's kind of a good person and wouldn't like try anything, but he did anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, like, I feel like that the reason he did that, like, is it just like he wanted to like rub it in his face, like, look, you're doing this nice thing for me, and then I'm about to kill you. Like it's some sort of sadistic.
or maybe
thing.
just like put on like pretend like, oh, I like you, but I'm actually like gonna kill you.
Yeah, it's really
It's kind
sad.
of freaky too.
Yeah. So I think that's all we have for John Lennon. So we didn't really get to finish up the John Benet Ramsey story last time because there's still a lot to talk about.
Yeah. So
So-
since we have like a little bit of extra time, since this story is more definitive, we can go in and talk about that a little bit.
Awesome.
Okay.
So
Okay.
where
So,
do
do you
we
guys
leave
remember because we didn't get to talk about what you think about the suspects?
Oh, I actually have something to say about that.
okay.
So
Okay.
a lot of the suspects are suspects because of their like child predator
Vibe.
Tendencies.
vibes
Yeah.
and tendencies and histories.
Yeah.
But I think it's really sad to say, but I think that wouldn't really be as important in this case because they're all child predators, and they all like she was put out there for child predators by her mom, being a beauty pageant star so young.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's probably not something that we need to look too close at in this case.
I mean, yeah, I guess like they all have that in common, but like I don't know, like it doesn't like I don't know. Pretty much all of them, right? Like all the suspects were.
Yeah.
Or they're like,
Yeah, I still think that it's her brother that did it.
The
And
brother?
her parents covered it up.
Me too. I also have like a little this is all conspiracy probably, but like I feel like they could have been working with the investigators because the investigators did such a shallow search and like avoided the basement.
Oh, like the parents bribed them, kind of.
yeah, like don't look in there.
Yeah, either that or like the investigators could have been the ones who killed her. Like it could have been like
Oh my.
So,
Like somebody on the inside.
yeah, somebody on the inside killed her and like who led the investigation. It was like, oh, I can cover this up.
Whoa.
Yeah, but like, why would they kill her out of anyone?
They're a pedophile. I don't know.
I feel like there's just like too many suspects. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, the thing is with like all of the suspects that I talked about, like they're all suspicious, but none of them match the DNA found.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Who-
But then they're also talking about of whether or not like this DNA matters because there was some testing on the sample and then they were saying that DNA could have been from the manufacturing process. But also it was a drop of blood though, so that doesn't really make sense. I don't know why there'd be blood on her underwear from manufacturing.
Yeah, and who
Wait.
else's blood would have been on her underwear?
Yeah. Well, it's not like it could have been like hers because she's
yeah,
she's like a child.
It
And
did
also
show
they
that
tested. Yeah.
She got sexually assaulted, right?
Yeah.
but like, why would they bleed?
I don't know. It's possible like maybe she like hit them back or I don't know.
I don't think she would hit that hard. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
She was a kid.
She was like
Yeah.
6. Yeah.
maybe like she hit.
Or no, I feel like probably she wouldn't even know to hit them.
Yeah.
Because they probably like could have been somebody she knew and they just like manipulated her to like go with
being
them.
okay with it.
Yeah, like because like when you're a kid you like trust everyone basically.
Yeah, that's why it's so like hard for parents to be like, hey, don't talk to strangers. And, like they have to like keep reinforcing that because kids are like they don't have any sense of what's bad in the world. They just trust
Yeah.
everyone.
I mean, like maybe some of these like suspects are just like freaks and they're like no, they're not like
Yeah.
related. Like they
Yeah.
didn't like they're weird and they're freaky, but like they didn't do it.
Yeah, like the
well,
guy
like
who-
definitely like this last guy, John Mark Carr. He's definitely just like a
Oh.
crazy like pedophile who just wanted attention.
Yeah, he was the guy who confessed to it, right?
Yeah, he confessed,
Oh.
but then they found out he wasn't even in Colorado at the time. So yeah,
It's so
There's just like too
Weird.
many people that like it could be like all of them or it could be like none of them. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Yeah. Like,
There's so many
what if it's
weird
none of these
things.
things?
Yeah.
There's so many
Mhm.
weird things about this case also. Just like the ransom note.
yeah.
Like the ransom note makes you think like the parents, but then they don't match the DNA. And like
They use their stationery.
yeah.
And her
Yeah.
paintbrush or something.
yeah, it's like it's just so weird.
Yeah, I feel like it has to be a combination of multiple people working together because
Or just like none of them on there. Like they were just
Or someone
completely wrong.
close to
That's
them
true.
to have their stationery, maybe.
Unless they
Yeah.
just like got it when they went in the house. Like,
yeah, but like who would stay there and write a
No,
practice
yeah,
note
the ransom note was written in the house.
twice?
Oh.
Well, yeah, they wrote practice
The
letter.
rough
Yeah, so like it's just all really weird. And,
yeah.
and then somebody like they had to know about like John's Christmas bonus because that's like the same amount
Oh.
that was like requested.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
it was the parents, that is just like really stupid. That they
Yeah,
would say that.
But maybe they killed her. Like, okay, so like the mom was already like, "You're gonna be famous, like be a beauty pageant star." But then maybe they were like, "Oh, you're not getting enough fame, so then like we're gonna kill you, and then we're gonna get like."
Oh, that's
Or,
true.
like-
Yeah, because the mom like is the one that put. Like, isn't there another theory that the mom was jealous of John Bonet Ramsey because he used to be like a beauty pageant star too?
oh, probably yeah. She was a beauty pageant star, and I feel like there was probably part of her that was like trying to like live her life, like
Yeah.
relive her life through her daughter.
But like again, like we wouldn't know who they are, like if she didn't die. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I wouldn't know.
Yeah, that's so sad that like if she was starving for attention that much that she killed her own daughter. And yeah, I heard like especially
Well, not for sure.
yeah, not
Yeah.
for sure, but like
Well,
if that's the case.
yeah.
And yeah, I hear from like a lot of people actually now that like I'm going to college and everybody's trying to push me in a different direction. People are like, oh, people just say people tell you things that they want you to do because they want that for themselves.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like
Yeah.
when people are like, "Oh, you should be a business major. You should be an artist." That's the things that they want for themselves. So maybe she like pushed her to be a beauty pageant star because she wanted that fame.
Oh
for
yeah,
herself.
probably. I doubt that
What
John.
child, like,
yeah,
is like-
I doubt that John Bonet was like, oh, I want to be a beauty pageant star.
I mean, we don't know, but like,
yeah, but
most likely.
I don't think she didn't start when she was 6. She had been doing it for like a while.
That's crazy.
So she probably started when she was like a toddler.
Yeah.
Doing beauty pageants, and no toddler would be like, can I do a beauty pageant?
Yeah, I couldn't even.
Where would they even like know about that? Like,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. The like optimistic part of me doesn't want to believe that like the parents would do that to their own child. But
They could have been like mentally.
they
ill,
act
too.
so suspicious. There's so many actions that they did that was like so weird. But then they don't match the DNA, and the police exonerated them, which would also possibly point to what you were saying about that the police were involved.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I mean, I think the blood splatter like is kind of random. Like, you know what I
A
mean?
lot of the stuff is
Yeah.
just random.
What if it's like different things like all happening at once? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so.
It's like with the pineapple too.
Oh, yeah.
or something.
Yeah, but who knows? Maybe it will be solved like
They
soon.
should like revisit it. Like somebody like not somebody else needs to like look at it.
Well, the case is still open. I think
Oh.
there's still like they find like more things to research about it. So, I mean, it's possible
mean,
it could be solved.
I feel like adding more things to research would just make it like even harder to know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you can't
Did
ignore it.
Patsy
Yeah,
die?
yeah.
I forgot what you said.
Oh yeah, she died from cancer
Oh.
in
Oh.
like 2006.
So, like,
I believe.
we might never know what happened.
Yeah,
That's scary.
yeah.
Wow.
But that's what you get when you're looking at unsolved cases. It's
Yeah.
like it's crazy.
We
I want
signed
to
up
know.
for it.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's it for our talking, like revisiting John Benet Ramsey and the John Lennon case. So
Okay, so next week we're gonna talk about the tragic life of Judy Garland, and we're gonna discuss her tragic life. And she suffered through being a child star, and we're gonna just see how that affected her death and how she ended up. So yeah, that's it. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.